I do not.
You happy with the win?
No.
You didn't like how the game ended?
No.
Yeah,
No.
it was disappointing. Okay, enough. Sarah is from Oxford, Connecticut.
Oh my God.
Right,
Yep.
Sarah. Machowski?
Machowski.
Machowski.
Mhm.
Okay. My family's on Lejean.
Okay.
On my mother's side.
Yep.
Lejean.
Okay.
Hedvig, that's my grandmother's name. So.
Okay. History lesson.
Yeah, half Polish, half Irish.
Half Polish, half Italian.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
All right, let's
Go
start.
Huskies.
Yeah, I liked how we played. I mean, listen, this was a quick turnaround. The league, again, you know, I've said this before. Did Seton Hall play today?
They played tonight against Georgia.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, just going in, emotional game, emotional comeback on the road at Providence. You know, you get in late, you have an early game today. I mean, this game was on top of us really quick. I think you have a clock in your head about, you know, games. Yeah, I was worried about overall flatness, lack of energy with the group. I actually thought, you know, we handled things pretty well, because that's not the DePaul that's rolled in here that you've seen in recent history and recent memory. You know, I think, you know, the job that Chris and his staff are doing, you know, with changing the culture there and what it's like to face them, and you know, just watching them, obviously playing against them before Christmas, and then, you know, watching them at Nova, you know, have a lead most of the game, and then Nova does storm back and took control, but you could see the growth there, and I don't think anyone, when you turn on film, is thinking that you're in for a fun game with DePaul. They guard, they're physical. They were really physical in the game. I mean, that day was probably good preparation for Tuesday. So just how much physicality with us trying to move out there. So yeah, we guarded, I thought, at a high level in the first half, and then just, you know, obviously it's a game we could have won by 20, 25. I don't, you know, for me at the end of the game with 4.5 minutes to go and you're up 23, I was tight with the rotation at Providence, you know, so I kind of, you know, I buried the bench guys there, and I wanted to play them more tonight, so it felt like a good time to play them. They needed those minutes, and so I didn't, obviously having to put the starters back in is disappointing. I didn't like how they handled that group. That was bullshit. And then, and I also don't care about the net, and I don't care about any of that stuff. I mean, for me, up 23 with 4 to go in the game, I really don't want Taris Reed to re-injure his high ankle. I don't want Silas Demery to re-injure his calf. I don't want Alex Caravan to get hurt at that point. And I thought the bench would be able to at least hold the lead, but credit to Paul. Longest opening ever. Said everything I wanted to say. There should be no questions.
Coach, throughout
Only you were so lucky.
Coach, throughout the season, you've mentioned the ceiling for UConn's offense being top 10, top 5. Obviously, good performances in the last 2 games, but in terms of efficiency, they haven't been to that ceiling just yet. What's the next step moving forward for your guys' offense to get to that level?
Yeah, I think you're seeing it go up. You know, I think you're seeing it go up as Silas is getting more comfortable. I think as you know, as we had 14 turnovers again tonight, that has hurt us. There's all these different things that go into your offensive efficiency that don't actually have anything to do with your, like, you know, like what you're doing in the half court in terms of like scoring off of, you know, something you're running. We don't offensive rebound the way that we need to. We turn the ball over at a rate that is way too high. You know, we're not getting out in transition enough. When we're in transition, we're not as efficient as we need to be. You know, we also, I think Solo's a high volume 3-point shooter. I think he's going to catch fire here. He's been dealing with the left wrist. He didn't fall on the floor today, and I thought the second half would be something that'll get him going. But I think what we tried to do, because our defense sucked so bad last year, was we really tried to focus on shoring that end of the court up. And I do think that there's a lot of room for growth. I think we're leaving points on the table. I mean, we easily could have shot 56%, 57% from the field today. We missed bunnies. And I thought we missed open threes. But credit to Paul. Those guys play hard, man.
Dan, when Brillin leads you guys in rebounding, is that a good thing for him, obviously? Would you prefer to see the big guys rebound more, or is that just show what a all-around player he is?
Well, I mean, some of those situations today, we did a bad job guarding the ball. So in some of those situations, you've got the center rotating over to contest at the rim. Because of the way we play defense, what we're trying to do at the three-point line, guarding the line, we're going to get driven at times because of the emphasis on guarding the three-point line. So the center is going to contest at the rim, and then now you need to have your perimeter people that sink in and, can go get on the defensive glass. And Brillin has proven he can do that. I think we need some others. I think we need Solo to get on the glass a lot more. Amongst these other wings. But Brillin was awesome today. I mean, Brillin is starting to, really figure it out. I think we just got to kind of get Solo going right now. We get Solo going and get this bench alive again. I think we'll be rolling.
So I've heard you elaborate a couple times a little bit about Solo today. I was wondering if you could emphasize what you really noticed from him in the first half versus the second half, because he didn't even log a shot attempt in the first half, and then he gave you guys a little bit of a flurry in the second half. So I was wondering if you could elaborate on that.
Yeah, I think just anytime you miss time, you miss time with the wrist, right? He played that great game, and he looked like right before the wrist, before Christmas, he looked like the Solo from, the first 92% of last year, where the guy was shooting at a crazy efficiency. He has that great game against Butler at home. And then, then he ends up with a left wrist injury that then knocks him out of the game, and then he was limited in practice. So we're trying to get him back into the flow. The thing with all of our players is we've got a lot of what these guys have got to be able to do on our offensively is just be efficient. No one on the team is going to take. You're not going to get 16, 17, 18 shots to find a rhythm. We've got too many weapons on offense. So, these guys have got to just figure out a way to be efficient. Some nights it's not going to be your night. The balls, the way the other team scouts, who they're going to put their best perimeter defender on. The defense is going to dictate where the ball goes on a given night. But when you look at shot distribution for the team, it's like 6, 10, 7, 5, 10, 18. Our best players are only going to get 10, 11, maybe 12 shots on a night. So on some nights you may get 6. I remember Cam Spencer when he played here, there were games where he took 3. But so on nights like that, when you play on such a talented team, you got to do other things. You got to guard, you got to rebound, you got to play make.
Dan, going off what you just said, it seemed like in the second half, early first 6-7 minutes, you guys went inside a lot and got offensive buckets. Was that an adjustment at halftime, something that you saw the defense allowing, or did it just work out that way?
No, I mean, it's just not that I don't think yelling is always the answer. I mean, it's my answer sometimes, so I don't like what's happening. It's worked for me. Sarah, are you a yeller?
Yes.
Is she a yeller?
That's why I have no voice.
So anyway, it's just we have a lot, we have some players sometimes when the shot goes up, we don't balance the court. We send everybody. The problem is that we have guys that when shots go up, they're not crashing on the offensive glass. So, and that's a problem for us. And that, again, when you're talking about offensive efficiency, like the reason why we were where we were in 24 was because there was a huge offensive rebounding component to us having like the best offense or the number 2 whatever we were that year. This team is not shown that dog, that wolf mentality when shots go up, that they're going to crash the glass. I mean, Cam Spencer was an excellent offensive rebounder. Steph Castle was an excellent offensive rebounder. Tristan Newton was an excellent offensive rebounder on the perimeter. Forget AK and Donovan. So our perimeter people are not offensive rebounding as well as they should, and neither is Taris.
Dan, there's been a lot of talk about the depth being the strength of your team this year. Has it faded a little bit? Are there only like 7 that you're comfortable with, or is today just kind of an aberration because again you didn't play a lot the other day and they need to get back into the swing of things.
Well, yeah, I mean, they put, that was a game where you're down, like you're down, and you're just trying to find a combination of players that are going to, help you win the game. So, I don't know that, the other night I think was, what do they call that, an outlier or something, Sarah? What's another word? Anomaly. Good job, Bobby. An anomaly. Well, if you look at tonight, I mean, Eric played 15 minutes tonight. So Eric was back to that split that we like, 25-15, 28-12. Eric played. I thought Eric showed some real signs. Didn't finish the game great, but I thought he showed a good, really a positive second half. Yeah, I mean, Jalen Stewart, he's got to be up 18, 12, 18, 20. Jay Ross has got to get back to where he was. But again, he pulled a hammy and missed 2 days, missed 2 games, and now you're trying to work him, back in, and then Malachi, I mean, I'd like to get Malachi more than 12 minutes, but when you get on the court too, and you're a bench player, when those guys get the higher end minutes, it's because they're doing things on the court, that make you want to keep them on the court. The minutes are the easiest part of my job. If you're playing bad, and I'm going to get you off the court. If things are going good when you're on the court and you're playing good, I'm going to keep you on the court. It's the easiest job I got.
It was putting the starters back in at 1:30, just sending a message to the guys. You probably would have held on.
Yeah, I mean, it was just more disappointment with that group because, again, for me at the end, I don't give a shit about the net. I mean, we're 16-1. We've had what we did in the non-conference speaks for itself. I don't care if we drop a spot in the net. The net, that's bullshit. And you see what everyone's doing. So much of the net right now is it's bad, and I don't want to have a starter get hurt. I feel like we got a strong bench. I felt like the bench could keep that score where it was. I didn't want to put the starters back in. And I certainly wasn't trying to, sub guys out early on DePaul. I got tremendous respect for them. I just, you're up 23 or whatever. And I just felt like we'd be able to hold the lead and get guys minutes that didn't get them versus Providence, but they did bad.
Dan, getting back to Brillin, figuring it out 2 games in a row now where he's also been the leading scorer. And 2 years ago with Steph in his freshman year, he started to come on around the same point in the season. Are you seeing that with Brillin in his own evolution? Can you draw any parallels there?
Yeah, I mean, he's starting to really figure it out, and the guy's an all-around player, and he is a reliable defensive player too. I mean, if you look at his ability to kind of get over screens and guard the ball, I mean, he's in a similar way to Stefan. He's obviously not our best defensive player, but he's a reliable defensive player. I mean, he's he's getting comfortable out there. Anytime he can get off a shot, we want him to shoot it. I mean, the guy's just a stud.
Hey, Coach. Going back to Brillin, there was that stretch towards the end of the second half where he made the steal, set up the fast break, came back with another one. He was just flying around. Does that kind of embody the killer instinct you've been looking for from this team so far this season to just put teams away?
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know that this is like the 24 team where we were just a destroyer, just a devastating machine. But this group, I think, this group there's some nice guys. I mean, we got some nice guys in there. I don't necessarily think that they're coming into every game with the seek and destroy mentality, right? Kill, kill, kill. I don't think that they're built like that. Maybe they're silent assassins, these guys, potentially, but we need these guys to, develop more of a killer instinct. But I think Brillin is a ball player. He's not just a shooter scorer. I mean, this guy makes plays all over the court.
Anything else, Coach?
Thanks, Sarah.
You talked a little about the physicality that the guards are playing against your guys. Do you anticipate that being sort of a strategy other teams will employ in the future?
Well, yeah, I mean, they've been employing it. They employ it in the league. It's not something you're going to see in a non-conference. Again, I've said this year after year, you're not allowed to do it in the NCAA tournament. I mean, it would be 50 fouls called. I mean, it wouldn't be people to finish the game if you were to do some of the things that go on in Big East games in terms of just the lack of freedom of movement, which is, again, it's really bad for us. It's adverse in the league for us because of the, I guess trying to live up to this Big East, mauling. Whereas I think with college basketball, we're trying to go to more scoring. We're trying to go to more offense. I think that's going to increase viewership. That's going to increase interest in people actually watching the game. And I always think it hurts the better team when you allow the lesser team to just foul the shit out of the better team, particularly in end-of-game situations. I think that's probably one of the things I see in college a lot, whereas like teams earn a lead at the end of games. And then, teams then press and foul a team with a lead in the last couple of minutes of a game that has earned the lead. And now it's almost like now the team with the lead now has to play through getting the shit fouled out of them to win a game that they had kind of won with a lead. And now the other team has to resort to a Hail Mary fouling scenario. So I just think for us, as a league, I think, we want to be able to play basketball that's actually watchable and not a wrestling match.
Last one down.
So you got to call fouls early in the game, and then if they continue to foul, you have to keep calling fouls until teams just stop fouling.
Can you break down the mechanics of Brillin's shot? I mean, can you teach a shot like that, or does that have to be natural? I mean, what's unique just about his as a pure, pretty shooter?
Yeah, so he doesn't have the release is not a super high release. It's and again, I'm people crush me. They're gonna crush me. Yep. But like it's like a little bit. You know how like Steph Curry. I'm gonna get crushed as I just said. Brillin and Steph Curry.
That's okay.
So it's okay, right? Sarah, I can say it. Because you're talking about mechanics. I'm not talking about like career. And I'm just saying like he has a lower release and it's high, but he gets it off so quick. Like he is able to get his footwork and his body turned. And from when the ball touches his hand until when he gets the release off, it's so quick that he's able to make up for not having as high a release point.
Yep, sideways today. He had one like sideways.
Well, I think we may be hiring a shooting coach in the off
He was
season.
like sideways.
So Sarah,
That's what he was. He was like
do you have any
sideways.
experience coaching?
Not basketball.
All right, so I don't know if the state will allow me to hire Sarah to come in and work with the back to Dom. But Dom, he has it's a unique release point. Every time he shoots it, though, you think it's going in. I mean, that's always been my judgment for who are great shooters. Like anytime Cam Spencer shoots the ball, I think it's going in. Anytime Hawk shot the ball, I thought it was going in. Anytime Alex Cameron shoots the ball, I think it's going in. You don't feel that way about every guy that shoots. Thank you. And Sarah?
Yes.
Thank you. I love that.
This
All right?
It was a good thing. I was saying that as a good thing.
Okay.